Okay, all right. Hello, nerds around the world, and welcome to our show again. This is episode 89 of the Nerds United One podcast, and I am CM Miller, Christopher and Miller, your host tonight. And we have to hopefully we will be giving you a solid show this evening. And to help me out with that, I have a great panel. Of course, these guys, been on the show for quite some time. And of course, they become part of our nerds, our nerds family. First up, from Geeks Out, it is Mike Gillick. Mike, just waiting for you to join us again.
Yeah. Hey, always great to be here, talking with you guys, getting some nerdy stuff going on.
Also, we have Colton Hunt. And Colton, what's going on? What's going on from down in South Carolina? Hope you braved that horrible hurricane.
North Carolina, actually, and
North Carolina. Excuse me.
Things are all right here now. Florida got the worst of it. We got just the residuals and all that. There's some trees are knocked down. Some there's been a lot of flooding and all that. Some roads had to be had to be cut off and all that on the interstates, but nowhere near the damage of Florida. And I hope all my Florida friends are doing all right. And what have you. As for tonight's show, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good one because they're all good. And I'm sorry I missed the Power Ranger discussion because, well, I had no power.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, at least you're able to join us today. Unfortunately, the worst from this previous hurricane is behind me, no doubt. Okay, for the topic for this show, this evening's show, we'll be covering top 5 movie heroes top 5 heroes in science fiction cinema. Top 5 sci-fi movie heroes. These are probably and we cover the best heroic protagonist that have ever been part of the superhero genre. We have picked 5 of our favorites, and we all love our sci-fi movies. We love going to the Final Frontier, going into galaxies far, far away, so forth and so on. And tonight, especially these heroes have become some of the best ever from the world of sci-fi. And did your favorite make the list? Oh, we're going to find out tonight. Okay, and to start off with myself, going on from number 5 to number 1. Number 5 for me is Marty McFly from the Back to the Future trilogy. Everybody, ever reliable Michael J. Fox. And I'm not saying, what you should have on your list, but you can't just leave something like Marty McFly on the list. He's such an ever likable, wonderful. Plucky protagonist, this guitar-loving, skateboard cruising young teenager who accidentally goes back in time and almost prevents his parents from falling in love. And Marty has had a number of obstacles along his journey. And including having to fight all the advances of his mother. Awkward scenario that is. I enjoy Michael J. Fox's performance as Marty McFly. He just really brought the humor, the charm, the personality, and the wit of Marty to life. Of course, he's going to be Eric Stoltz who was going to play him. As great actor Eric Stoltz is, he ain't no Michael J. Fox. Just put that out there. It's just like I said, Eric Stoltz. It's just like if it were any actor, if it were Eric Stoltz or any other actor, oh my! It's just like what we're Back to the Future be today. If it weren't for Michael J. Fox playing that role, it's just like I said, he just didn't really need weapons to triumph over his heroes. Although he doesn't like being called chicken.
Nobody calls me chicken. Yeah, it's still a classic moment.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just a likable, wonderful protagonist. It's just like one of my favorite movie characters of all time. So one of my favorite sci-fi movie heroes. So Marty McFly for me is at number 5. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number 5 on your list?
All right, my number 5 is from the Alien series, Ellen Ripley. Yeah, I mean, this is a woman that, hey, for 3 out of the 4 movies, she won. She came out ahead. Third one, I mean, yeah, she averted an apocalypse, so I guess that's a pretty good thing anyway. But I mean, just look at the first movie. She is completely out of her element. I mean, she's facing a creature she's never experienced before. No one's ever experienced before.
Yeah.
And I mean, as her companions get picked off one by one, she realizes I'm probably going to be killed here. So she has to go to extreme lengths. I mean, she blows up her entire ship to try and escape alive. And even that almost doesn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
And then second movie, she's with this group of hardened Marines, and they're still overwhelmed. I mean,
Just say game over.
Yeah, I mean, it's an entire army of these creatures. When she almost dies fighting off one, and now she's facing an entire army and a queen of them, and she still manages to come out ahead. So I mean, she's always very down to earth. She's very, just kind of very human. And dude, Sigourney Weaver's a badass. So yeah, my number 5 is as Ellen Ripley, played by the marvelous Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, quite resilient. Ripley is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't tell me Mama Bear right there. Can't go wrong with Ripley. Of course not. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number 5 on your list?
Number 5 on my list can be summed up in 6 words. Get away from her, you bitch! That's right. Ellen Ripley made this list. Of course, you can't have a sci-fi hero list without Ellen Ripley being up there. But it's like what I love about Ripley is that I think she's a very realistically written character. I mean, when it all starts off and they're like on the alien LV-426 or whatever the planet is, they're there and like one of their crewmates gets infected with the alien. She's the only person that's smart enough to actually, follow protocol and all that regarding quarantine. And had they actually followed it, they probably all would have, lived. But alas, Ash was evil and programmed to get the alien back at all costs. And it's like she stayed. It's like in any other sort of movie, you would probably expect Ellen to like just undergo this massive adrenaline makeover so that she could take on the alien. But she stays a pretty vulnerable character from start to finish, and that makes it very easy to, makes sympathizing with her a lot more. I don't know. It's like you can tell that she might. The fact that it seems like Ellen might actually not make it makes it a lot more easier to sympathize with her, I think. And even when she undergoes her adrenaline makeover in Aliens, well, it makes sense to a regard. She's with a bunch of battle-hardened Marines. Hicks someone gives her the ropes regarding how to use the pulse rifle and everything, but she still feels like the same character. She just evolved, She becomes the very definition of a mama bear. Emphasis on the bear part when the alien queen, when she's facing up with the alien queen, she's like, "Get away from her, you bitch!" You can tell that she has had it up to here with those aliens. And even in the lesser Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, I mean,
I had it with these motherfucking aliens on this motherfucking planet.
Even in Alien Resurrection, it's still hard to not feel for Ripley. I mean, all the crap she's been through, you just want to reach out and give the woman a hug. And especially in Alien Resurrection, when she actually recounts the fact that she can't remember Newt's name anymore after the Ripley clone anyway. So she can't remember Newt's name. She sees the clones all the deformed alien Ripley clones that just totally messes with her mentally. It's like, man, she's one of the most tortured sci-fi heroes of all time, I think. It's quite something. And part of me wishes that we were getting like an actual sequel to Alien Resurrection just to see more of what the Ripley clone's state of mind was like. But, well, I think you can get whatever if they're going to go like the way of ignoring Alien 3 and 4, I guess, with the new Alien film. So number 5 on my list is Ellen Ripley.
All right, number 5. So both of you ranked Ellen Ripley number 5. Interesting, but yeah, of course, because you guys are right about your love of Ellen Ripley, but maybe I'm gonna have to say for something a little say about that. It's just a little something, but in the meantime, I will go on to number 4 on my list. is James T. Kirk, captain of the Starship Enterprise from the Star Trek franchise. Of course, this character originated from a show, the show Star Trek that aired in 1966, ended in '69, and he came back, and of course, all the crew of the Enterprise came back for 6 movies, starting in 1979. Went on to make 6 movies, which were the last one was released in 1991. I mean, for William Shatner, as much as like Chris Pine, he was, he was the originator of that character. He had the bravado, the charisma, the wit, the courage, and he's like, I mean, yeah, we like to take hits as Shatner, especially those in popular media, especially for that line delivery. It's risk is our business. Let me stop. I mean, you can't help but admire what a well-crafted character Captain Kirk is, especially on the arcs he undergoes throughout the series, especially in Wrath of Khan, where he has his doubts about growing old, mortality and so forth and so on. It's just like, yeah. And yeah, he has sort of a midlife crisis, especially
it's like a full-blown meltdown.
Almost.
Not full-blown, but
it's like what Bone said, it's like it's your birthday, Jim. Why would treat it like a funeral, basically? Yeah. Especially when Khan comes back and tries to, exact his revenge on him. But he manages to find the wisdom in maturing and accepting him, had his age advancing, and eventually managed to try to Khan in that film. And though there was a huge price for that, of course, Undiscovered Country, trying to overcome his prejudice with the Klingons. I mean, he pretty much is the same James T. Kirk, but he evolves throughout the course of those films. He's still very much the swashbuckling captain that we remember from those 79 episodes of this show. So James T. Kirk for me at number 4. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number 4 on your list?
Okay, my number 4, I've got Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Okay.
Captain America?
Yeah.
Sci-Fi? Yeah, cool.
Pretty much.
He's a time travel. I mean, he was frozen in the 1940s after given a super serum that turned him into a super soldier. He's got a indestructible shield that he can bounce off God knows what, and it always comes back to him. I think that's science fiction right there. Just a little bit.
You got me.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, this is a guy that, right back from his origins in the 1940s in the comic books, he has always stood for truth and justice. I mean, and given some of the more recent storylines, he hasn't always been completely backing of America and what America stands for, but he's always been kind of the ideal to strive for. He's the ultimate Boy Scout, and I'm seeing that in the best possible way. He is willing to go above and beyond to protect what he believes is the right course, and he's always trying to define what the right course is, even when everybody, you just take that fantastic quote from the Civil War comic books that they reproduced in the Civil War movie. I'm just kind of paraphrasing it here, but he says, "Just stand. You're supposed to stand beside the river of truth, and even when everybody's telling you move, you gotta get out of the way. You gotta, go with the flow. Your job is to just stand there and say no. You move." And that is what he has been saying ever since we were introduced of him, like what? I mean, 70, 80 years ago.
5 years. It's like since early 1940s.
Yeah. So for a guy to be that steadfast and that righteous for that long, I got to give it to him. So my number 4, Captain America.
Oh, got to give it to him. Here's to the Star Spangled Man.
He debuted in 1941.
I said that, Colton. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little distracted by looking it up.
Okay, all right. In the meantime, why don't you give us number 4 on your list?
Well, speaking of Marvel, number 4 on my list is Star-Lord.
Star who?
Or Peter Quill, as he's actually known as. It's like, I really love Guardians of the Galaxy, and Star-Lord is one of the reasons why, you know? I mean, he's a lovable Han Solo-ish rogue and what have you, but he also has probably one of the smartest lines uttered by anybody in a Doomsday movie. Why would you want to save the world? What's it ever done for you? I'm one of the idiots that lives in it! In addition to that, he has a pretty good heart as well, you know? Delivers that life's giving us a chance to give a shit speech, and overall, despite some of his lesser qualities, he's a good guy at heart, among other things. Plus, you know, I mean, he's got plenty of fun one-liners to go around, and I also loved his. I've never been like a huge music man, but I also loved his dedication to his Walkman and the song choices he's picked on it, and how he compared and his Footloose speech, among other things. You know, all those people having sticks up their butts.
Kevin Bacon. Oh my goodness.
And of course, we can't forget about how he saved the world with the power of friendship and dance. Dance off, me and you, bro. Yeah, I see it right there. The awesome mix.
I cannot wait for the Awesome Mix 2.
I think we're all waiting with bated breath for that one. But yeah, Star-Lord is my number 4.
Yes, I'm still wondering about him and Ego, his mother Ego, the living planet. I wonder let me start.
how that works is.
You care to see my meteors, baby? Let me start.
Yeah, that's gotta be bragging rights. Oh, your dad's the president? Great. My dad's a planet.
They better give an explanation for that. Okay, I do not want someone to say, so how does that even work? And then like someone says, well, you see, and then they cut to something else, or like if someone says you don't want to know, or
I think with a situation like that, it's kind of a given that we're gonna get an explanation, because you can't throw that out without explaining something about it.
Yeah. All kinds of weirdness right there, and I don't know if I want to think. I don't know what I want to think about it. Oh my god!
There's something else I loved about Star-Lord is that you could probably say that, well, he's basically us. You know, he's in addition to being a roguish superhero or super rogue and whatnot, he also he makes geeky references himself. You know, like I mentioned, the aforementioned Footloose scene, among other things, and like I said, his love of music, it makes him a very relatable kind of guy outside of the whole being a criminal thing. But well, we all have a little bit of a rogue in us somewhere.
Pretty much. Okay, all right, going on. Continuing on, going on to our lesson. Going on for me, for number 3 is Luke Skywalker from the Star Wars movies. You know. You say what you will about Luke. Yeah, he can be a bit whiny. He can be a bit. He really can test you. Something. He can. Yeah, he can put. I don't say he can put a number on you. There's a kind of earnestness and a nobility about Luke Skywalker that just. It's just all the more remarkable, really. And I'm not saying Mark Hamill was the best actor out of the series, but I don't think you can imagine anyone else playing this character. I mean, really. I mean, he brought that earnestness and that kind of, and sincerity to the character that was all the more wonderful. Yeah, he is a bit windy and childish in A New Hope, especially how many times we had to mock him saying how he wants to go to Tosche Station because I want to go to Tosche Station because of power converters.
Yeah, the funny thing though is in Star Wars on Tatooine, power converters is slang for hookers. I'm kidding.
That was a Robot Chicken sketch though,
yes, it was.
Where the power converters were hookers and all that. Yep. The Tosche Station was a strip club.
Oh my god! Oh, Seth Green and his and that Got interesting mind of his. I mean, I haven't seen Robot Chicken, so I much prefer the Family Guy parodies. But that's what I was saying.
The Family Guy parodies were alright. It's a little shallow here or there. Or,
pretty much.
Well, that's Family Guy. I mean, Family Guy is funny, but it's certainly not the deepest one out there. But.
Nah. I'll give it. I mean, I will always go to The Simpsons for that, for the deep, for deeper writing and layers and the storytelling again. But as I was saying about Luke, he kind of gradually goes for an arc throughout these films. Especially you see him. We go to his character deeper in Empire and so forth, but he becomes a badass by the time of Return to Jedi, where he becomes the cool, calm, confident Jedi Knight that we all wanted him to be, and it succeeds. And from redeeming bring his father back to the light side and freeing the galaxy from the Sith's control. And I cannot wait for what happens, when we see him in Episode 8. Oh, it's killing me. When I said, I want to hear him speak. I want to hear him speak.
Technically speaking, we did hear him speak, but it was in the trailer for The Force Awakens.
Pretty much.
And that line wasn't even those lines weren't even in the film.
Right. But it was still that was still a great performance by Mark Hamill in that movie. Anyway, in Episode 7. But as I said, number 3, Luke Skywalker in my list of top 5 sci-fi movie heroes. Mike, what is number 3 on your list?
All right, going from Marvel to DC, my number 3 is Superman. I mean,
can't go wrong there.
When you want Apex hero, you got Superman right there. I mean,
oh yeah,
always, well, back in the day, it was Truth, Justice, and the American Way. They've kind of lessened out the American Way more recently, appropriately, I think. But he's just like Captain America. Take everything I said about Captain America and bump it up to the next level because he's Superman. And I mean, he hasn't always had the best stories because it's always hard to write for someone that is practically invulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's why they ended up inventing kryptonite, because they wanted something that could actually affect them. But when they actually got in touch with who Superman is as a person, as a character, as kind of Clark Kent, and they really kind of got into his humanity, there are some deep and some really compelling stories written about him. And I mean, just look at the 1978 Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
He has some really emotional moments in that one, and very appropriately so.
Yeah, same way as Earth Father dies.
Yeah, exactly.
All these powers, and I couldn't save him.
Yeah, exactly. He is the strongest, most powerful hero the world has ever known, but he's still so. I mean, for lack of a better term, he's also very human. And when they can give him stories that really portray that and amplify that, you see exactly what it is that makes him one of the world's greatest heroes. So yeah, my number 3 is Superman.
There's a reason they call him Superman, He's not just super, he's also a man, not super god or whatever.
Exactly.
Yes, very well said, Mike. Well said. Regarding your choice, we're talking about Superman being number 3 on your list. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number 3 on your list?
Number 3 on my list is, from the Terminator series, Sarah Connor.
Mm-hmm.
So even though she's been eclipsed in popularity by Arnold Schwarzenegger when it comes to being the face of that series, what I love about Sarah actually is, well, for one matter, when she starts the franchise off, she's, MacGuffin girl and all that jazz. She's the person that Reese is there to save and keep out of trouble so that she can be the mother of all destiny, John Connor, the savior of the world. One thing I love about what they did with Sarah is that she actually gets to outlive Reese, She would expect them to save the day and drive off into the sunset together, and thus Reese would kind of become the face of the franchise as a result. But no, Reese straight up dies, and then it's up to Sarah to continue on from that point forward. And it's like really, Sarah is like a character that you just have to admire for all the shit she's gone through, but still managing to not fully lose herself, I guess you could say. I mean, you can tell that in Terminator 2, she's definitely gone off the deep end, but she does display moments where you can tell that the human she once was is still there, you know, from her trying to keep John safe to her having a chance to kill the creator of Skynet, but ultimately sparing him in the end, and then her and the Terminator managing to have something of an understanding at the end when she has to, you know, destroy him and what have you. Like, one of the reasons why I'm so pissed off that Sarah just kind of fell by the wayside and as the franchise continued, with her just dying off screen in the third movie, and then of course she only has a few passing mentions in the fourth film and what have you. And I mean, I'm glad she got to come back for Genesis, but that's a whole nother story and a lousy movie to begin with.
The continuity of the whole timeline, though. God, I hate you.
What were you saying?
As I was saying, they completely butchered the whole continuity.
Yeah, it's getting that's a whole other episode. But something else that I liked about Sarah is that they don't, you know, glorify her adrenaline makeover. It's actually pretty realistically done, I think. Like I said, she's become this gun-toting mama bear, but it's also took a huge toll on her psyche. So it was nice that they actually handled that, like not making her into someone that she's not an action hero. She's a reluctant savior, but so it's admirable for whenever, like I said, it's admirable whenever we see her like briefly become the human she once was, among other things. And of course, you know, Linda Hamilton, she's a total badass. And she had a great vulnerability in the first movie as well, when she was trying to understand just what the hell was going on with her and what the hell is going on with the Terminators. And then she gives probably one of the best one-liners of the series, where when the Terminator tries to strangle her through that and she crushes it, she's like, "You're a Terminator, fucker," and then she just crushes the bitch. And I'm like, Sarah, you go. So yeah, number 3 on my list is Sarah Connor. The Terminator series would not be the same without you.
Excellent choice, Colton. Excellent choice, Colton. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, going on for me, number 2 on my list is Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. And I'm wondering, G2, why her number 5? She was
number 5 on my list because her track record wasn't consistent, I guess.
It doesn't take from the fact she's an icon.
Dude, she's going up against Captain America and Superman. She's going to take backseat to those guys. Sorry.
Hey! Why? Because she's human?
When you hear who's number 2 and number 1 on my list, you'll understand why she was as low on the list as she was. But I mean, remember, this is a top 5 list, not a top 10 list. I mean, she made the best cut. I know, but still, she still deserves a place in at least the top 3 or 2, like she does on my list. You know why? Because she's going to open up all kinds of whoop ass, especially when it comes to the alien queen. She says, "Get away from her, you bitch," which is still one of my favorite movie moments. So, yeah, but Ellen Ripley, you can't just like, a list like this will be poor without her. Just the woman, her strength, her resolve, her courage, her humanity is one of the great assets of her personality to me. I feel in the first Alien movie, though she was very capable in that film, she's a little weak in terms of, there wasn't, I don't think, she wasn't quite as fleshed out in the first movie. She was still a great character, but she wasn't quite as fleshed out as she could have been. I mean, she was still a great character overall. It's with the second movie where her abilities, crank up several different levels. She really takes the charge, especially when she's going on to rescue the Marines and everything. It's just like, which is like still one of the best scenes in the movie itself. And of course, her born for compassion. Of course, her relationship with Newt, another great part of what makes that character so wonderful. Her relationship is basically a mother figure to this child who's suffered great trauma due to that she lost her own family.
I mean, like she was so great. Ripley was a great maternal figure to her. Like I was saying, it's her strength, her resolve. She's quite resilient. And she's a stone cold badass, especially that scene like in Aliens where she sees the queen. She's like, "Nah, I ain't taking this. I'm just like, nah, you ain't going." It's like, nah, this shit is going down. Basically, it's just like she decides to take that flame, throw it. It's just like torch them fuckers up, basically. It's like, dude, that being like with, like I said, with her, with the power suit, get away from her, you bitch. Very definition of badass right there. So Elle Ripley, number 2 on my list. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number 2 on your list?
All right, my number 2 is the main character from probably the longest-running science fiction series on Earth. The show started in 1963 and is still going today.
Doctor Who.
You got it. It is the Doctor from Doctor Who. Played by 13 different actors, and always the same character.
William Hartnell.
Oh, yeah. Let me list them off here. William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, John Hurt, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and now Peter Capaldi.
Do you have a favorite Doctor?
My favorite Doctor? Well, for me, it's David Tennant. Because he's the guy that I really remember watching the most. I mean, I love Tom Baker. I think he brought a really interesting thing to the character, but it's probably David Tennant for me. But yeah, I mean, this is a guy that like he saves the universe on fairly regular occasions. So he is a hero, but he's not always the most likable hero. I mean, depending on which incarnation you get to, he doesn't always have the most bright and likable personality. Even someone like David Tennant and Matt Smith, they have their darker moments by far. But I mean, there's a reason why he's been around for so long and he's still going very popularly. He's just, the adventures he goes on are really very well done, and he's just an interesting character because he's got so many levels that you can always see that there's way more to the character than he's portraying, but he always portrays each actor has always portrayed a very unique facade that there's always a lot more behind, and I always love that character. I always love that about the character. And I mean, if you I'm not going to show you, but I've got the all from from Christopher Eccleston all the way up to Peter Capaldi on Blu-ray, and right behind me back here I've got burned copies of pretty much every single story from William Hartnell all the way to Paul McGann there. So he's been around for a while, and he is my number 2 sci-fi hero of all time. It is the Doctor.
All right, interesting choice there, Mike. Interesting choice there. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number 2 on your list?
Number 2 on my list is, this list won't be a sci-fi hero list without him, Han Solo. So, Han, I mean, what can be said about him that we didn't already have in our Han Solo versus Indiana Jones? So, what?
Scruffy looking herder.
Who's scruffy looking? It's like I just really love Han. I mean, I think he's one of the best lovable rogue characters out there, and we owe a lot of other badass space and pirates, smugglers to him. Malcolm Reynolds, Star-Lord, and we owed them to Han, who.
Oh, yeah.
Han, and of course, even though Han is a character archetype himself and all that jazz. But what I love about Han is just, I mean, he starts off as this, arrogant scoundrel, but I feel like his progression from scoundrel to hero just feels like very natural, It starts off with, Luke is the one that wants to do the right thing and all that jazz, and Han's like, yeah, I'm just in it for the money, okay? I'm not really in it for this revolution. But when Luke actually says, "Well, take care of yourself, Han." Yes, I guess that's what you're best at, isn't it? Han actually looks, kind of hurt when he says that, and then he gives an honest, heartfelt, "May the Force be with you," to Luke before Luke heads off to face probably certain death. So of course it's naturally a fuck yeah moment when Han comes racing back to save the day in the Millennium Falcon. Yahoo! Oh man, it's one of Han's many great moments. He's like, "Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around." And it's like you can tell, and he's like always constantly putting himself into like probably the most dangerous of situations to save the day. But I mean, it always pays off. Like the asteroid sequence. He's like, they'd be crazy to follow us, wouldn't they? Even though it was like a 3,721 chance that they'd actually make it out alive. And also, when he actually got confronted by Vader while they were on Cloud City, he immediately tries to shoot him. I mean, most people would probably crap their pants, but Han's like, "Oh, hi, Vader." Granted, Vader deflected every single blast with his hand, and that's
not a great way to meet your father-in-law,
Oh boy!
And then, of course, when he was trying to confront his son, and that didn't end out so well for him. Dang.
Kylo!
Some bastard.
That's
you emo bastard.
That scene is actually, progress for Han. I mean, he's like, after all this, he confronts Kylo, but he's not looking for a fight. He's changed. He just wants to talk, and you can feel the earnestness in his voice. He just wants his son to come home, which makes it even more heartbreaking when Han gets the axe and he goes falling into the depths of the Starkiller base. I mean, we can't pull I'm sure Han was on that thing when it blew. Oh no, he was definitely on it when it blew up. A moment's silence for our fallen scoundrel. Okay. So anyway, something else I liked about Han is that I also just really loved his friendship with everyone else. Like when Lando revealed that Vader set a trap for Luke, Han was like just pissed off. He just straight up sucker punches Lando. Like, yeah, I can't really blame you for that, Han. Lando deserved that punch. And but even as he was changing, he still had a few kind of jerkish. He had a few not. Cool. He still had a bit of a ways to go. Like you could tell he was definitely jealous of the fact that it looked like Leia was in love with Luke during their little spat in the Ewok village. And I'm like, when he said, "Can you tell Luke is that who you could tell?" You can tell he's pretty hurt because he really does love Leia. And then I loved it. So I loved it how he gave a honest apology to her for snapping. And when he said, "When Luke comes back, I won't get in the way," I'm like, man, that's really good progress for you, Han. Very good indeed. So then Leia's like, "Oh, I don't love him like that. He's my brother." And then when she's kissing Han, it's like, "Wait a minute, did she just say he's her brother?" I'm like, "Oh wait, no, screw that. I get
Leia." You know what I was thinking was going through Han's mind at that point? At that point, when they were kissing like that, he's probably thinking, "So what the deal was that kiss on Hoth about?" Ugh.
Let's never bring up that kiss ever again. But and of course, his gruffness extends into The Force Awakens, where with his relationship with Rey and all that. But it's still a pretty heartfelt. It's still a pretty cute one with Rey just acting like a kid in the candy store with Han, and Han's like, Chewie, we're home. When they get back onto the Millennium Falcon, this is a character that easily could have just fallen into, I don't know, maybe Jack Sparrow territory, where you think he would be, where the fact that he was so popular, he would wind up stealing the show.
Where you think you might have captured Captain Han, so it was like,
where you think he would, you expect him to probably fall into, Jack Sparrow territory, where he's like a popular character, so he wind up stealing the show. But they gave us just enough of Han that he would become the cultural icon that he is today, without feeling like he was just. Like I said, without feeling like he was there to steal the show or whatever. He was there to be a character, not a scene stealer. That's what I love about him. One of Harrison Ford's best performances.
Scene stealer, eh? Like I said, it's an interesting choice. Yeah, great choice. Very excellent choice, Colton. All right, we're going to me, just including our list. Let me skip it. Well, this is the first I'm going to conclude mine. Obviously, we're going to taking the top spot in my list of top 5 sci-fi movie superheroes. Our favorite scoundrel, our favorite scruffy-looking nerfer, Han Solo. I mean, I don't know if I can say better what you said, Colton. I mean, but yeah, Han Solo is truly one of the best. Not only one of the best characters in science fiction, fantasy films, but one of the best movie characters ever. Period. Charming, sarcastic to a fault. You has balls of steel, and you want to tell him one thing. Just one thing. You want to never tell him the odds. I'll just tell you. Just put that out there. But man, it's just like the attitude that he exudes. Just Harrison. Most of it, I think, was much of it, and there's much of it is what I think. I think much of the personality was as much Harrison Ford as it was George. And also combining what George Lucas created with that character. Harrison Ford, I believe, injected a bit of himself into Han. He's the reluctant hero. Basically, he doesn't want nothing more to do with this young kid and this mentor. Just like he just want to go off, try to pay his debts. Smuggling with his towering furry co-pilot, basically. But it's the arc of the characters. What is all the more astonishing. He doesn't really give a damn about what the rebels are fighting for. But you realize deep beneath the surface, he's a good guy. He's basically the guy which determined as heart of gold. He's the guy with a heart of gold, basically. He learns to find to care about more about others than he does himself. Of course, with the Force Awakens, how he truly has evolved. He's just a guy who said like hokey religions and ancient weapons are a good match for blasting your side. When it comes to the Force Awakens, he's a believer. He believes in the Force and everything. It's just like it's the evolution this character undergoes. Quiet and arc, basically, and he, like I said, Colton said he's not basically looking for violence. He's trying to mend his relationship with his son. And that ends rather tragically. Abrams! But yeah. I mean, this is a character, you cannot help but love, and like I said, with the Han Solo, he is mature, but he's still the same wisecracking rogue that you remember since that first film that was released in '77. I mean, he's definitely, this is a character you can't help but love. You can't help but like. So Han Solo, number one on my list. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number one on your list?
All right, my number one. I had considered Han Solo, but I decided not to put him on my list because I really see him more of an anti-hero. I mean, even when he's being a hero, he's still got a lot of anti-heroish traits. So my number one is Luke Skywalker.
Okie doke.
Because I mean, episode 4 to episode 6, and I'm assuming episode 7 and 8. That really is the hero's journey for Luke. I mean, hero. I mean, right there. I mean, he goes from just being this kid on this backwater planet in the solar system, and in the galaxy, and he wants more out of life. He wants he wants more than that desert planet will give him.
Yeah.
And so as he goes through his journey, as he leaves his home, as he leaves his comfort zone, he gradually starts taking on more and more responsibility. He finds out that he's actually he can use this power and he can use it better than 99.9% of the universe. And then he finds out that his father is one of the most evil beings in the universe. That's got to be a blow to your ego. But what does he do? Oh, I'm going to kill my father and free the universe. No, he wants to save his father. Through the entire battle, what is he trying to do? He's trying to stop the Emperor. He's trying to redeem his father. That's what his ultimate goal is. He is not the balance to the Force. He is the one that creates the balance to the Force in his father. Yeah. And with his father killing the Emperor and dying, Sith are no more. The Jedi is pretty much just him. and he has saved the universe from the destruction of the Sith. So, I mean, you know, Captain America, the Doctor, Superman, Ellen Ripley, they've all saved planets. This guy saved the entire universe in the balance of the Force. I think that kind of edges him up to number one for me. So my number one is Mark Hamill playing Luke Skywalker.
All right, great choice, Mike. Great choice, man. Great choice indeed. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number one on your list?
All right, before I do that, though, one very quick honorable mention is Princess Leia. And she was going to be on this list originally, but I didn't want my list to be filled with Star Wars characters. That's a sign of what my number one is going to be. But what I love about Leia is that, you know, she starts off, it looks like she's going to be your, you know, classic damsel in distress. I mean, she shoots one of the stormtroopers and immediately gets captured. So we're thinking, okay, she's a damsel that's going to come to that's going to be rescued when it's all said and done. Then our heroes come to the rescue and they have no idea what the hell they're doing. She's like, "You plan for getting in here. You don't have one for getting out." And it's like, if you didn't love Leia right then, you probably loved her right then. That's when you probably started loving her. I mean, she takes no crap, but she also has like Han. She also has a pretty big heart as well. You know, when Han gets captured and Leia has that heartbroken look on her face as he's being, you know, frozen in carbonite, and then they just barely miss rescuing him as Boba Fett takes off. I mean, you have to really feel for her, you know, and all the crap she has to deal with, from finding out that Vader is her dad. Luke's going to give himself up. You're losing Han. I mean, she went through quite the character journey herself. I mean, especially when she had to actually feel her husband dying at the moment it happened. So I really hope that they do more with Leia in the next movie. That being said, my number one is, and a character I also want to see more of in Episode 8, Luke Skywalker. Because, of course, Luke was probably one of the first real character. He's a character that I really identify with, you know. He's a kid that has, you know, big dreams and all that, but he's stuck in just that one place. And Tatooine is just a perfect representation of, you know, like I said, just being stuck in one place even though you want more out of life. It's a backwater planet. It's barely a blip on the Empire's radar and / the Republic back in Episode 1, back in the prequel trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, you also can't. I feel like Luke, I know people say Luke is a whiny character, but I feel like he's a whiny character done right. As in, he has every right to be a whiner, of course, because his uncle is being, well, as far as he can tell, his uncle is being totally unreasonable. He's like, Luke's like, look, can I transfer to the academy now or what? And his uncle's like, you're cutting up before the the semester before the harvest. That's why I need you the most. And Luke brings up a pretty good point. They had more than enough droids. He's already said more. They had an agreement going in that he was going to be able to transfer to the academy that year, but his uncle tells him no. And of course, we all later learned that it's because, well, we all know how that turned out for Anakin. And, you know, so yeah, I can actually, you know, I can kind of sympathize with Luke a little bit in there. And then I also love what they do with Luke's hero's journey. Like, it isn't just simply him getting everything handed to him on a platter. It's pretty hard life for him, actually. I mean, first he loses his aunt and uncle on that same day. Then he loses his mentor also less than a few hours later. It's like the battle, like escaping from the Death Star. And, what?
He's sure like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, like, escaping from the Death Star wasn't like a fun escape sequence or whatever. It was a pretty harrowing journey for him, in addition to like getting shot at multiple times, nearly being drowned and eaten alive by the Dianoga, seeing Obi-Wan getting beheaded. I mean, damn. Of course, and then he loses Biggs and all the span of what, 24 hours or something. That's gotta be like the biggest heavy hitting. It's like people say that Empire is a heavy hitting film, but damn, does Luke go through some serious crap in Episode 4. But what I also love about Episode 5 is the fact that once again Luke learns the hard way that this is not an easy hero's journey. Being a Jedi, it takes one thing that he has yet to master, and that's patience. Mm-hmm. Yoda does it in a very good. Yoda teaches him that lesson in a very good way. And you can tell that Luke, even though Luke fails to understand the lesson the first few times, he slowly starts to come around. And by Episode 6, you can tell that he's taking those lessons to heart, especially with the way he's actually able to verbally spar with Vader and being able to get through to him with just a few words. When he says that my father is truly dead, even though you can't see behind Vader's helmet, you can tell that those words clearly stung. It's like one of the best hero's journeys ever. I would say might be the hero's journey. And probably won't quite see one of. It's like I'm pretty sure Rey will have a good one in episodes 7 and the rest of the new trilogy, but the odds of it matching up to Luke's, well, who knows? I hope it does, but I don't think it will. But you never know. She's a good character right now. Let's see if they can keep the momentum up with her. See what else is I going to say about Luke. And of course, when he says I'm a Jedi, like my father before me, you believe it because, like I said, he's taken everything he's learned in the past over the past few months or so, or maybe a year or something like that. He's taken everything he's learned to heart. You can tell he's matured. He's grown up. In episode 6, he doesn't whine once. He's truly become a hero. What?
Remarkably, he doesn't whine once.
You can tell that. You can tell that this is the guy that we can and should be rooting for, and he's a hero we can all believe in. You believe he has truly, truly changed. I know I'm kind of rambling here, but well, I'm not totally prepared, but yeah, that's my number 1, Luke Skywalker.
All right, it's a great choice. I mean, it's like a great choice, Colton. Great choice. I mean, well, this is a great list from all around. You know, there's some explanations for us to which character, right? What on a certain number in your list. A great choice all around. All right, this is our show. It was a pretty solid show. I mean, pretty solid show. All right, and thank you so much for joining us. And our next show next week we'll be covering the adversaries of in sci-fi movies with top 5 sci-fi movie villains. Make sure to check out for that. And also like to thank the people for joining me. Mike, it was a pleasure having you. Always, man.
Always a pleasure, Chris. Always a pleasure.
All right, and Colton, same for you. It's like always a pleasure, my friend.
Happy to be here. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you.
Can't go wrong with having 2 of those phrases in the same sentence. All right. Like I said, make sure you check out sci-fi and top 5 sci-fi movies, sci-fi movie heroes. Next week, that'll be the topic. Make sure you check out for that. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Until next time. Goodbye.